welcome all of you guys. Thanks for attending for Mom. We thank you for all your prayers for the family. If we could bow our heads for a minute. Lord, thank you for this day. Lord, also thank you for Beverly's life and how she worshiped you and your son. Beverly was a silent follower in your kingdom. Her commitment to the word and the teachings were reflections in her life here on earth. Amen. From Psalms 119, 165. Great peace have those who love your law, and nothing can make them stumble. Beverly Ann was born to Archer and Altamora on May 18, 1938 in Spearman, Texas. Beverly had one sister. Her name was Pat. Her dad and mom had a farm in West Texas where they raised the girls. At times, if you asked her, she would open a box of the photos of her youth and look at the images, and then she would just say, "Let's just go do this." You didn't know what it was. You'd never seen the earlier pictures. She just didn't share them. You know, she was more into today. I never got the picture is worth 1,000-word story from her about the old photographs, because she started talking about what she could do with new memories. You don't blow away here. Beverly chose to go to nursing school after graduating from high school. She was a registered nurse clear up through her retirement. Beverly and her first husband, Robert, had one child, Rhonda. She followed and supported Robert and Rhonda through many military moves. I am sure she got the organization skills and moving skills during those busy years of moving around the country. Now you fast forward 17 years out of college, and that's when Beverly met Raymond. I don't know how she came to know my dad. I don't know the story. All I know that I saw is that she made my dad very happy. And together, both of them forged the 5 of us into a family. She enjoyed all the new reasons for many family events. And the Smiths did have quite a few reasons. When Mom and Dad got married, Dad just got injured seriously from a fall at work. The wedding picture was literally staged and propped Dad up long enough to get married on his feet, and then back into the private nurse care, because that's what they were doing. I don't know, maybe that's how they met. Maybe she was his nurse. I don't know. Is that what it is? Yeah. Somebody's more important here. She was the nurse that didn't argue as much as long as Dad could be at home. I look back at Mom's nursing over the years, and she had a couple hard and fast rules that she followed. Number 1, she never gave shots to the children or the grandchildren. She just didn't do it. She never wanted to be the one that made them cry, gave them any sharp pains. She had no problem giving them to anybody else. The second rule is that she followed all the records. After being a nurse for 30 plus years, she respected and recorded all those doctor's orders and thousands of patients. Fortunately, her great record keeping kept for both my dad and her were a huge benefit to the countless doctors that they would come to know in their retirement. We'd go in and you'd take a clipboard with you for the history. I mean, it was ridiculous. And all the medicines and all the surgeries. But she had it all down. She knew what it was. And the doctors did appreciate it. Mom and Dad did a great job in our teen years. They provided great support to our extended family and all the cousins together. Mom loved to host holiday parties and birthday dinners and made some really great food and desserts. One of my favorite was her Coke salad. I don't know what's in it. Coke. Yeah, there's Coke in it. Cherry Jello, maraschino cherries. They were the good part. Walnuts. They're all real good. She always had the meals planned out, and the tables were set the day before the event. I knew she wanted the tables separated and the leaves installed the day before because she chose the place settings and even filled out all the name tags. She carried this tradition with her all the way to the very last meal she served in the house. Mom enjoyed reading, drawing, games, tea parties, camping, fishing, hiking, and a lot of other hobbies. She prepared herself so that she could be with the people and share perhaps their interests. All of them had fun when they went to Grandma's, and they had have a friend that would take double space. I still can't read it. Yeah, I forget what I read. They had to have a friend that they would take with them on the challenges. Dad and Mom would take on all those friends too. Of course, she did have a serious business side also. She had to keep the house clean, the windows had to be clean, and everything was recorded. I don't know how many drawers I had to go through, but there was a bunch. She had so many records. There were, however, many times that we would come home and find things not where they were supposed to be, usually. Mom's way of cleaning the house was unique. She would set aside time to clean the closet or the cabinet and get that job done. Our job was to find out what she had donated, what she threw out, what she located into just a new place. You didn't know where it was at. She had to redo it all the time. I guess those previous years of moving around the country gave her the drive to just get it done. But Bev and Ray, Mom and Dad, loved to travel. Most of their trips were planned to go see family. They wore out 3 camping rigs over their travels. Started with the simple truck and camper, went on to the motor home, and then eventually got the 5th wheel. They wore them all out. They even had to have me come get them from Alaska. They blew that engine. Had to go get them to Wyoming. They made trips to New Zealand, Alaska, Cabo San Lucas down there. They went a lot of different places. They've seen some beautiful culture that God created. Mom's photo albums were thick, and she loved to share her stories with friends and family upon their return. She did have 1,000 photos for the trip, just not 1,000 words. Dad would narrate the trip for everyone, listening while Mom got you something to eat and drink. Her travel planning got to the brothers, the sisters, and all the cousins together several times a year. Every once in a while, they'd drag the grandkids too. Moving on into living alone, Mom didn't meet a beat with her family dinners or her family gathering. She did, however, slow down the travel and camping. It was too much work to maintain that energy and demand and care for all that stuff. She relied on traveling by plane to go see the grandkids and enjoyed longer stays and quiet walks on the beach. She finally felt she needed to make a decision to be either a South Carolina resident or a Colorado resident. Her heart wanted to be both, but her body was not willing to continue to make the trips and the journeys between the places in her heart. She once told me she felt guilty not being there for the holidays or the birthdays. I told her that the guilt should be no greater whether you're trying to balance Colorado or all the others. When you spend time reflecting on your journeys in your heart, God's listening. Mom decided after many months that she was going to be a South Carolina resident. I'm sure it was difficult, but that's what she prayed about. She was going to try, and she would be around the grandkids that didn't live so close. All those years of organization made it easy to move east. She knew Parkinson's was going to get worse since the doctors really had done all that they could do. She showed courage, bravery, and wisdom, and comfort in leaving her home. The passage that her and I talked about was in James 3:17. It says, "But the wisdom that comes from heaven is first all and pure, and peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy and good fruit, and impartial and sincere." Mom was extremely happy when she learned that a young family was going to call home that her and Dad had called home. I myself driven by many times since and found the entire front porch covered in layers of toys. Luckily, he built like a toy pen out there at the end. Not many things fell off, you know. Her joy of her home in Colorado did continue as she went into assisted living facility. Everyone called her Miss Beverly and said that she was quiet as a mouse. She would say that everyone was nice, loud but nice. And she always requested 2 desserts. She knew the baker pretty well, and she would request them, and he would give them to her. Bill was her neighbor down there. He took care of her, pushing her when she couldn't walk to many of the activities, play cards, play bingo, all the different things that they would do. The Lord's hands was upon Mom throughout the years. The Lord gave her some challenges with her health and the underlying treatments and therapies from all the doctors. She had some of the most difficult times with her voice. It just wasn't audible anymore. You could call her and it was a commercial for, Sprint, I guess. Sprint may be the worst, I'm not sure. But you couldn't hear her. It was so broken. She still had people that she wanted to talk to, but mostly all she could do is listen. And if you did, you got to hear her speak. It was so softy and broken with so pause that it was difficult to follow. Towards the end, you had to carry the conversation with her, and you had to give her options with yes and no. The day before she passed on Thanksgiving, she passed after Thanksgiving, but today, because of COVID, there was no one visiting in the facility, and they still had no plans to let anyone in. So the facility had grand plans for their own Thanksgiving dinner, and they had it. All of us kids got to call her that day. We were different times of the day calling her, but by the end of the day, everybody had called her. And after talking to all of us together, we noticed that it was the clearest we'd ever heard her. It was like, it's got a new machine. Everything works again. both Debbie and I decided not to tell her about Aunt Catherine. It was a good day for her. It'll be another day. Because Aunt Catherine had died on Thanksgiving. One of the cousins. She had a good Thanksgiving meal. And she was still recovering from COVID that she had caught in August. So she was tough. She got it. She got over it from a fall. And after she went to ER, they X-ray, went to hospitals. That's how she got COVID. Bill was able to stay with her that night when she didn't feel well, holding her hand. So, thank you, Bill. So in closing, thanks for coming. Her life was very full with us. I always called her Mom, because that's what she was. She loved everybody here, so thanks.